Hello, Eagle fans. Chris Hooks here from the NCCU Sports Network as we talk to senior Lady Eagle basketball player Jori Nwachukwu, going one-on-one with her just to give you a chance to get to know the senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, just a little bit more. Jori, thanks for joining us today here, your senior season. If you could, at this point of the year, we're a little bit past the midway point. Talk about how your senior season is going here at North Carolina Central.
I think the season is going okay. I expected it to go a little bit better, but you know, we still have a lot of time. As you said, we're midway through. We have maybe about 13 more games to go. Just kind of hoping that we just get things on the up and up coming these next couple days to just kind of finish off strong, especially since it is my senior year.
And everything you went through with the knee injury and to come back, I know it's got to be grateful for you and gratifying for you to be back on the floor playing again. And once again, you picked it up right where you left off, double-double machine for the Lady Eagles.
I think this is probably one of the hardest challenges so far in my life, rehabbing and being out since January of 2009. I didn't think that I would come back and be as strong. Of course, there are a few things, my wind, I get tired a whole lot faster than I used to. But I am really grateful, one, that Jori Robinson and the other coaches and my new teammates have allowed me to just be the player that I am and just trusting, that I can do what I can do to, help the team.
I'll tell you what, one of probably the worst moments in my short tenure here at North Carolina Central was seeing your knee injury against Robert Morris and just seeing the pain you were in and knowing that at that point you were going to have a long time rehabilitation, and that's a mental process. Just if you could give Eagle fans a little insight of what that was like.
Well, first of all, I thought I would never walk again. I mean, that was the first thing in my mind. When I went down, I knew instantly that I tore my ACL. I felt it, I heard it, everything. So before I even hit the ground, I started crying. My mom was like, "We heard you crying on the radio," and Chris went straight to commercial, and my baby was crying. I didn't know what to do, and I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to walk again. In my mind, I just quit. I was like, I can't come back from this. A lot of people do, but like you said, it is a mental thing, and that I had a mental block at that point. I just couldn't see past that moment, and it has been a struggle. It's been some days. Our trainer, Bridget, has seen me crying. I've given her attitude. Sean and everyone, all of our athletic trainers just hated seeing me coming in there because they didn't know what Jori they were going to get that day, whether I was going to cooperate or hate this. I think I've quit basketball about 20 times throughout the summer because I just couldn't put up with that. But, I made it, and, I'm surprised in myself, and it just shows the things that I can do when I do kind of get past that mental block and really put my mind to it.
Did you feel coming into the season a little bit more pressure because it was your last chance to really show your stuff?
Yes, I think I put more pressure on myself than anyone else. My uncle always tells me, you really don't have anything you have to prove, but I felt like I had to prove something to myself. I could be off a year and a half and still come in and make the contributions that I've had in the past for my team. But I think that was probably the worst mindset for me to have because I just started off just stressing myself out for absolutely no reason instead of just letting things come to me naturally. So now, I'm trying to shake that monkey off my back and just play, and, whatever happens, just happens.
You've been here since the beginning of this transition to Division I. If you could just go into detail and talk about just what you've seen from this university as far as the transition. The light is at the end of the tunnel for us here at NCCU. Next year it'll be for the whole shebang. We can win national championships, conference championships. If you could, what you've seen as a student athlete here at North Carolina Central as far as this transition.
I've been here, seems like forever, but coming from the CIAA into this independent, it has been, it's two different things, two different ball games. Just the competition level, just the requirements, the expectations, everything is so much higher. And I think it's helped me mature, as a player and as an individual. But I'm so appreciative of the things that our university has done to help us student athletes become acclimated to this new transitioning process that we've all had to undergo. And I don't think people understand how hard it is to go through this transition period. There were days we wouldn't be in class for 2 weeks at a time, and all your professors aren't going to be as, understanding and lenient, with your schedules, and, just our coaches and, you know, the administration acting as liaisons between us and our teachers, it has really been a huge help for, I could say, myself especially. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play for a championship next year, but I think this year just giving me a taste of what the MEAC is like, I'm still grateful. You know, I've had my run and I got my CIAA championship, so, you know, I have one under my belt, but to help my team get to that next level next year, I mean, that's just as good to me. You know, we can go undefeated in the MEAC and not win a championship, and I'll still be happy.
Well, and that brings up my next question. You've been, amongst other student athletes here, you've been sort of a pioneer in this Division I transition. How honored are you to be a part of that? I
feel honored and humbled at the same time. You know, I'm also learning, you know, just as much as our freshmen are. You know, this is all new to me as well. I have never played a full MEAC schedule up until this year, and then taking a year and a half off, I almost feel like an old freshman, I guess you could say. But you know, it is great for people to look up to me and ask me questions about, you know, how things will go during the season, what to look for, and how to handle different atmospheres. I do admire that, and I appreciate them all the same for keeping me grounded and, you know, always still having my back and not putting me too high up on a pedestal and just letting me know it's okay, Jay, you can kind of come down. We don't expect too much of you, because I just sometimes feel like people ask a lot of me. But, you know, I do love them, and I appreciate all of them as well.
So which Jori are we getting today? Are we getting Jori A, Jori B, or Jori C?
This is Jori A, because, well, this is how I am all the time. Like, I'm really, really goofy. But when everyone sees me outside of basketball, you know, I'm like a whole nother person. But on the basketball court, you'll hardly hear me talking. I keep like the same expression. It's like the most nonchalant look, unless I get really angry. But I'm so goofy and, like, I don't know, I like weird stuff. I'm strange.
And I think it's perfect for you, your temperament and the way you are out on the floor, because of what you've gone through. This is a very young team this year, and with this team and the transition as we're making, and the coaching staff bringing in a lot of newcomers as far as this season, you've been sort of surrounded by numerous players. I mean, defenses are obviously keying in on slowing you down, especially a couple weeks ago when Cece wasn't able to play because she was sick. I mean, you were still able to get a double-double. To me, that's amazing. You went 2 for 15 and got a double-double, and were able to still continue to be one of the most effective players. Actually, you were one of the highest scorers against Morgan State. That has to be frustrating as well, because you're surrounded. It's like being in shark-infested waters.
I'm not even going to lie to you, Chris. When we played Morgan State, the first time they threw 3 people at me, it was so quick. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. Like, I just almost threw the ball up at the basket. We practice stuff like that in, you know, those type of situations. But I think, you know, I'm more comfortable with my teammates. But when I go out there, I almost kind of fear the worst. I never know what teams are going to do to me. And I'm almost a little worried about my safety sometimes, because at that Morgan State game, I mean, their whole plan was attack her and just, like, by any means necessary, stop her. And I felt it, because I have so many bruises on my arms, it's not even funny. But it's really hard and it's tough, because I can't really prepare for those type of things. All I can do is just try my best. But in the game situation, teams throw so many different defenses at me that everything is almost spur of the moment for me. So half those points that I get, I couldn't tell you what move I did now if you ask me. I'm just thinking, however I get to the basket, that's what I'm going to do, because I'm surprised they don't send their coaches at me too. But I can hear them on the sideline, so if they could, they would get in the game too.
Well, and this is a great opportunity for you to be sort of a leader for the team, and when you get in those triple team, double team situations, get it out to the Tanika Neelys, to the Sierra Solomons, to the Blair Houstons, to the Shanice Blanks, and you were able to do that a little bit finally near the end of that ball game, and they just have to hit the big shots.
Yeah, I think now, I just went over that not too long ago with my position coach about, you know, finding that open man. You know, when 3 people are coming at you, then, hey, you know, it's 3 other people out there that are wide open. So I just have to do a better job of finding my teammates and being almost the playmaker now, since clearly I won't be making any plays. I have to kind of create them for other people, because it's going to get worse. I know it is.
Let's go off the court. What's your major? And I want to remind Eagle fans, you during your rehab last year from the knee injury, you were with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Correct.
So talk about that internship experience, and then what's your major and what you want to do with it.
Well, my major is Parks and Recreation with a concentration in sports management and a minor in business. My long-term goal, I want to be an athletic director. I think being here has opened my eyes to just the behind the scenes of basketball. And, being a student athlete, I know one day I want to make an impact on other student athletes, any way that I can. And being able to be over an organization and just watching my department thrive, I think that would be like one of the biggest highlights of my life if I could get to that point. But I did get the opportunity to do an internship with basketball operations with the Philadelphia 76ers. I worked directly with player personnel, so my boss was sort of the overseer of overseas trades and scouting and high school and college and how do you call it? NBA, well, I don't know, professional prospects that weren't drafted, I guess you could say.
In the NBDL.
Yeah. I think it was probably one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had. I never envisioned myself going straight to a professional level to, do an internship. In my mind, I was like, okay, I got to get this coursework done, where can I go? I don't want to go to the Y, so I applied online, NBA.com, and she called me and told me about, was I still interested? I told her, yeah, but, let's see how far this goes. And she, told me that I had an interview, a phone interview, and he let me know that he was interviewing, people from like all over the state. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm at this little school in Durham. They probably don't even know what this is. There's no way they're about to pick me. And she called me back and told me it was between 4 of us, a kid in Philadelphia, 2 people in Nebraska, and myself. I knew they were going to go with the person in Philadelphia because it was like right down the street. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, they're going to go with the hometown favorite. And she called me back like a couple days later and told me that he wanted me for the internship. I immediately dropped everything I was doing. I was working a basketball camp. And my little team, they were like, Coach Jori, we're playing. I ran outside and everything, and I was so excited. I got to work directly with the coaches, the head coaches, the players, the general manager, the assistant general manager, and I don't think I could ask for a better environment. It was like a family, just like how it is here, how, you can pretty much talk to anybody. And that's exactly how I felt. I never thought that I would be able to just go in the general manager's office and just have a conversation with him. Like, I never thought that would ever happen. And, to be in an environment like that, it just kind of let me know, what I was capable of doing, what's out there and what's past the collegiate level. I don't think I want to go there anytime soon because that journey is a long road to travel. And I don't really have that type of time. But it's something that I would love to do, further on down the road. But I think it let me know what I can do, what I'm capable of, but not anytime soon. I think I want to stick with the collegiate level. That's more my speed. I like the college atmosphere. The NBA life is a little dry for me.
Well, and I've worked in the professional atmosphere as well. It's different. It's certainly different in college. First of all, the kids have to go home in college, so you get 3 months off, so to speak. But where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Whew. Well, let's see. That's a long way. I can't even see what I'm going to do next week. Hopefully in 10 years, I want to say that I have gotten my master's degree. I want to get a PhD. I don't know how this is going to work out. That's on the to-do list. I want to eventually work in a front office for a collegiate team. I would love to come back, to my alma mater and help out as much as possible. I think that would be, a very liberating experience, especially, contributing as far as being a coach or compliance, something very hands-on. I don't know. I want to do so many things. I can't really narrow it down. It's almost like I wish I had a little bit more time to kind of decide and not like next year. But, I'll kind of see where it goes.
Well, we won't put that pressure on you just yet. Now, we probably can set up something with Ingrid or Dr. Ricker McCree here at North Carolina Central where you can maybe follow her for a day and see what she goes through day to day on an athletic director's basis. But Jori, we really appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck here in your senior season. Eagle fans, you can enjoy this on our website. www.nccueaglepride.com. We'll have more to come throughout the rest of the winter and spring sports seasons. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.